mom. She's a hero.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Peoples versus Nahas. Step forward.
Frida Peoples is suing her former friend and business partner, Jenny Nahas, for money owed for food sales and supplies, and for loss of revenue.
Miss Peoples, who is this?
This is Rochelle. She's a third partner in the Three Sisters catering.
This is briefly what I gather from this case. You and the defendant and your witness decided to go into a cooking catering business to at least give it a shot. You each have a distinctive style of cooking. Yours is
Caribbean.
And yours is?
African.
And yours is?
Soul food.
And you called the company Three Sisters.
Yes.
You decided to try out the company at a fair that was being held, where there were food booths, where you sold food, and in exchange for the food, people had purchased tickets. So you got so many tickets. At the end of the fair day, tickets were turned in to the people who run the operation, and those tickets were translated into cash.
Correct.
Well, for whatever reason, things weren't working out for the three of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
How many tickets did you give Miss Nahas?
240.
You both gave her 240?
Yeah, because we were out there all day.
How much did you get?
$367, Your Honor.
Do you have any proof of that?
Absolutely.
I'd like to take a look at
Yes,
it.
ma'am.
Judge Judy.
Frida Peoples says, former friend and business partner, Jenny Nahas, owes for food sales and supplies from a food fair and for loss of revenue. Jenny is countersuing for the cost of aprons and for stealing the company name.
Now, there was some investment made. The defendant says she bought custom aprons that said Three Sisters on it. You bought, according to you, food. I'm not interested in that. That's not what courts are here to deal with. 3 aprons and some food that you bought for a fair. We're not talking about a whole lot of money. But what your claim is that the defendant, since she was the one who signed up for the space at the fair and gave a deposit, correct?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
She had to turn in the tickets, which she did, and she didn't share with you any of the money that she got. That's basically what your case is about. Okay, now, on the 23rd, did you, all three of you, work at the fair?
Yes. We did, but not for the whole fair.
But you were all there.
Yeah.
We all showed up eventually. Yes, ma'am.
I know, you say that she showed up late. How much money in tickets did you give Miss Nahas?
For myself, I counted $240.
Could you stand up? Miss Harvey, how many tickets did you give Miss Nahas?
240.
You both gave her 240?
Yeah, because we were out there all day. So, and we sold everything.
And how much did you collect yourself that day?
About $150.
So that's about $630. How much did you get?
$367, Your Honor.
Do you have any proof of that?
Absolutely.
I'd like to take a look at
Yes,
it.
ma'am. This is a copy of the check that they sent me that was cashed and cleared.
Would you show this to the plaintiffs, please? And Miss Harvey, how much money did Miss Nahas give to you?
$120.
And Miss Peoples, how much did Miss Nahas give to you?
0.
Correct.
Why?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by Real Cases, Real People. Judge Judy.
Nothing like at the time, so I was funding it and was supposed to get reimbursed.
Why did you give Miss Harvey $120 and not Miss Peoples?
At the time, me and Miss Harvey was continuing with the business and had decided at that time that me and her were staying together. We did not appreciate the way Frida was handling business, so we commenced, and myself and Miss Harvey carried on.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $120. We're finished. Thank you.
Step out. Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
She's just bitter that she no longer has a boy toy. If I had to put a picture in the dictionary next to what a boy toy looked like.
Judge Judy.
You know, I had more experience in the business, and
Be very careful. Be very careful. It ruins friendships.
I'm very forceful about it because I know what I'm doing. And she had no experience in this at all.
That's the overall part that, that I'm upset with.
This is not the first time she was dishonest with me about money, and I should have known better.
This is minor. The friendship meant more to me.
I definitely don't do business with friends.
Roof was leaking.
2 days after he left.
A storm of controversy over a failed repair.
He gave you a warranty.
He took back his warranty. He won't do anything.
You were looking for a bargain. That's why you got a handyman instead of a roofer.
Was he in over his head?
It goes beyond just doing a bad job. My daughter got hurt. My dog got hurt because of the nails everywhere.
Stick to being a handyman.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Brittany Elzeru is suing contractor 25-year-old Marcelino Zavala for damages to her home, breach of contract, vet bills, and lost wages.
Order. All rise. It's case number 456 on the calendar in the matter of Elzeru versus Zavala.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Elzeru, how long do you own your house?
I rent, but I have been living there for the past 4 years.
What do you rent from?
My landlords that own the house,
Yes. Who are they?
their name is Lee.
Why would you fix a roof on a house that you rent?
It's a portion of the house that we're building an add-on. Well, it's existing, but this is something that I wanted done for myself personally. And the owner, we have an agreement with them that whatever upgrades I make is for me.
What do you mean you're expanding? What does that mean?
So there's an area by our house that is a room. Can I show you a picture?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In what state do you live?
I live in California, Los Angeles.
What do you pay for this house a month?
I pay $2,300.
How big is the house?
I want to say 1,500 square feet.
Where do the owners live?
They live in Hong Kong.
I'd like to see the agreement that you had with them that allows you to build up on the house. Are you talking about this area here?
That and to your right.
What is it?
It is a carport that was turned into like a guest house. Then,
Well, this is a carport.
it was a patio. It's an enclosed patio.
This is
The patio.
a patio that you're making.
No, it was there. It's enclosed.
Was he supposed to do the roof on this?
Yes.
Was he doing the roof on the main house?
No.
Was he doing the roof on this
Yes.
area? So he was doing the roof on things that had nothing to do with the main house.
Well, it overlaps, and when he did it, he damaged part of the roof on the main house. So, yeah, it does connect.
You came out to look at the job, Mr. Zavala.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a roofer by trade?
No, ma'am.
What do you do?
Handyman work?
How did you find him?
I found him on Craigslist as
I'd like to see the ad. As a handyman or a roofer?
as both.
Well, I'd like to see. Is this the condition of the house as it is now, with that junk in the backyard?
Yes.
Is that the way it was when you rented it 4 years ago?
No, it's actually a lot worse.
I can't imagine it being worse.
Yeah, but
Well, then why didn't you fix it in the last 4 years if it was a lot worse? It looks like a junkyard.
I understand it might look like a junkyard, but at the same time, I have dogs in my yard, and I have 3 kids. I run an animal rescue, and I have a lot of rescue dogs all of the time, and it's been raining for how many weeks now?
Would you please make a circle around where it says here that he's a roofer? It says he's a handyman. I'll get to you in a second. Thank you. Okay, he came out, he looked at it. Tell me about your conversation with him. You wanted to put a roof on the addition that you were making.
Yes, there was a roof already. I knew that it was in bad shape, and I wanted to get it replaced. He came out, he did an
You got photographs of it?
Yeah, I do.
I'd like to see them. Is this the roof that you worked on?
Yes.
And you just roll out sheets?
They are rollout sheets. It's a low slope roofing system. You use it as opposed to shingles when you're doing flat roofs of that nature.
You quoted her $1,900 and change to do the roof on these two buildings. Is that what you quoted her?
No, ma'am.
How much did you quote her?
I quoted her just over $1,000 for the labor of the work.
And then he also charged me for all of the materials. So after I paid him everything, it was a little over $1,900.
Did you ever see a bill for the materials?
Yeah.
So he did spend the $967.47 on materials.
Yes.
And he made $1,000. When did he come to do the work?
He came on February 6th. He started to do the work on the roof.
And how long did he work?
He was there for 3 days.
Left on February 9th or 10th?
9th.
And when did you notice that part of the roof was leaking?
It was, I want to say, 2 days after he left.
May I see where it was leaking? By the way, before he started the work or right after he started the work, did you have any conversation with him about the condition of the roof? He with you? After Did you have other cards that you could have used, sir?
I did try them, Your Honor.
Don't listen to me. Does it look like I need help from you?
No.
I don't care whether you tried to pay him with wampum. You didn't pay them, and the plaintiff said she would advance you the money. Is that correct?
The plaintiff offered, yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
Perfect. The plaintiff said, okay, you don't have the money, I'll advance you the money. And you said, fine, I'll pay you when we get home.
No, Your Honor.
Oh, tell me what you said. This is to a perfect stranger.
That is not what I said, Your Honor.
What did you say?
We agreed that I would reimburse her, but there was no specific timeline given, Your Honor.
You are some piece of work. You're some piece of work. You get into a strange car with a driver that you don't know. You have no money to pay her. You have no money to pay for your food. The driver says, all right, your food's here. I'll advance you the money. And you said, fine, but your excuse to me is there was no specific time when I was supposed to pay it back.
Your Honor, I have already paid her.
Just a second. Oh, no, that's not where we're at yet, Mr. Bowles. You didn't pay her that day. And this is what it's about, because she started to call you because you didn't pay her that day. And then you called Uber and registered a complaint about her.
That was after she threatened to come over to my house with the police.
I didn't go over to your house with the police. You stole from her. She's an Uber driver.
I already paid her $18. We were trying to negotiate to pay out the rest. I have the evidence.
Just a second. I'm not interested in seeing your evidence. There's no negotiation, sir.
Then why did you bring me here?
Just a second. I don't know why you came here. I don't know why you came here, sir. You did the wrong thing by going to buy food without funds to pay for it, by accepting money from a stranger who drove you there, by manipulating words. You agreed to pay her back, but there was never a time frame when I was going to pay it back. Well, you could have paid it back 6 months from now, 3 months from now. And when she called you and said, I want my money, and if I don't get it, I'm coming to your house with the police, because you, in effect, stole money from her, which she is perfectly able to do. She can go to the police, file a police report, and said, this guy scammed me out of money. It would be the same thing if you took an Uber or a cab and jumped out after they drove you and ran into a house and said, catch me if you can. And the cab driver went to the police and said to them, he just stole money from me. It's the same as going into a store and stealing a toaster oven. You're stealing what they sell, and what they sell is their time. That's what they sell, to take you to a place. But in addition to that, she loaned you money, and you didn't pay her back, and you were trying to jerk her around without paying her that minute when you got home, you or your girlfriend, because you both ate the Sonic. There's no question about that. You didn't. Mr. Bowles, who was very quick to point out that you ultimately got paid. He ultimately paid you for the food. How long did that take?
He paid me $18.10 on November the 16th, and then December 4th, he paid me another $18.10, and I'm sorry, $18.10, and then he gave me an additional $20 along with a lengthy note saying that he felt bad about what he had done.
I'd like to see that note.
I just want to say that I do realize that I did put Miss Johnson out. I realize that.
Okay.
I do realize that.
Good.
I'm not here to dispute that.
Good.
But the 1-star rating that was given after I received the message about Miss Johnson coming over with the police.
You're not afraid of, listen to me, you shouldn't be afraid of the police coming to your house. Why would you be afraid if you did nothing wrong? Why would you be afraid? She didn't say she was coming over with a bunch of thugs to break your kneecaps. She said she was coming over with the police.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Why would you be afraid of the police if you did nothing wrong?
I actually called the police myself, Your Honor, and they were actually even incredulous that I was even calling them about this.
I'm incredulous.
And later today,
She says that while she acknowledges that her dog may have bitten yours, it was actually your fault. And she says it was your fault with a bizarre recitation of what took place, which, if true, would make me think that you're a nut.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Rideshare driver Kenyatta Johnson says rider Daryl Bowles II made false complaints about her to her company.
Okay, why would you be afraid of the police if you did nothing wrong?
I actually called the police myself, Your Honor. And they were actually even incredulous that I was even calling them about this.
I'm incredulous.
I'm incredulous,
I never heard of anybody taking a taxi cab and stiffing the driver and the driver helping them out by buying them and their girlfriend dinner. And then the passenger, after they ate the dinner with the girlfriend and didn't pay for it, called and registered a complaint to her employer. It's outrageous. She's suing you for $586. She deserves every penny. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I think her decision was absolutely incredulous.
I'm very happy with the verdict.
I ultimately ended up paying her the money that she was owed plus extra.
I think he used his disability and tried to get over on me, but it didn't work.
Now, the next case.
All parties in the matter. Perkins versus Robinson. Step forward.
LaShawn Perkins is suing her former friend, Raymond Robinson, for the value of a diamond-encrusted medallion, plus pain and suffering.
Miss Perkins, you had a medallion.
Yes, ma'am.
That you got that had some sentimental value to it. At some point, the medallion had to be fixed. And you gave it to Mr. Robinson, who was a friend of yours?
Yes.
You gave it to him. He said he could have it fixed for you. He didn't return it. Mr. Robinson said that you wouldn't pay him the $200 that he spent to have it fixed, so he pawned it. And he doesn't have it. That's right?
No.
What did you do with the medallion?
I went to go and get it appraised to see if I can get it
Did
fixed.
you pawn it?
Yes, I did.
Well, then I didn't say anything wrong.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I want to know why you got rid of her medallion.
When she gave me the medallion, I lost it.
You lost it?
I lost it.
And then you found it again?
No. When I found it, yes. I found it. I'm sorry. I found it.
Double talk.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
LaShawn Perkins says former friend Raymond Robinson owes for a diamond-encrusted medallion he stole from her.
Now, she gave it to you to have fixed. You had it fixed. You wanted money to have it fixed. She didn't give it to you, and you said...
No.
Well, you just said in your answer, Mr. Robinson, let me read your answer to you.
Okay.
She never picked up the medallion or paid for the work, so I finally pawned it so I could get paid. The pawn shop gave me $200 for the so-called diamond-encrusted medallion. That's your answer. That's what you swore to. You want to look at it again?
Can I explain myself?
No. What did you do with it? You said you pawned it.
Okay.
I'd like to see where you bought it from and how much you paid for it. Somebody made out a bill dated 4 days ago?
The juryman that made the pendant in 06 when my son got killed, he don't have the receipt from 06, so he written it on there. He said that's what he would make the same medallion again for me.
That's not what I asked you. I asked you how much you paid for it.
Back
you didn't
then?
pay $3,000 for it.
No, not back then.
I know you didn't pay $3,000 for it. So what I'm asking you is how much you paid for it.
Back then, I paid $2,500 for it.
Show me.
I don't have the receipt
Well, I'm
for
sorry.
it. That's the person that made it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a...
Okay.
Because I don't believe that. Okay. What had to be done to have this thing fixed?
The fact of the matter is, I'm responsible for the medallion. We came to that agreement. I had no problem with paying to get her or making payments when she tried to extort me for $5,000 because she kept calling me while I was at work.
Where is the medallion?
The medallion is pawned. It's pawned. I couldn't get it back because I didn't have an ID. Somebody pawned it, and I couldn't get the receipt.
Who pawned it?
Somebody that I met on the street in front of the pawn shop. And the reason why I pawned it in the first place because this lady started threatening me and threatening my family, and I have proof here that she did that.
I don't care. I want to know why you got rid of her medallion.
I got rid of it because this lady started threatening me. When she gave me the medallion, I lost it.
You lost it?
I lost it.
And then you found it again?
No. When I found it, yes. I found it. I'm sorry. My bad. I found it.
Double talk.
When I found it.
Put your hand down.
When I found it, I called her back to ask her if she wanted the medallion back. This is after she started threatening. This is after she kept calling me with a jeweler saying that she wanted a new medallion and she wanted to get appraised and she wanted $5,000. I said, hey, I'm getting paid. I can make payments. She didn't want the payments. She said, I want you to buy me a new medallion. She got in contact with my wife and she started sending all these texts.
I don't care what she did to you.
Okay.
I don't care if she got in touch with your wife. You're giving me a whole lot of double talk that I don't believe. You had it, you lost it, you found it, you pawned it.
I had it.
Do you understand? I want to know you took this medallion from her.
I did not take it.
Yes, you did. You took it from her
me.
To be fixed.
Yes.
I didn't say you stole it, sir.
She said I
you used
robbed
it. Maybe
her.
you. No, she never said that.
That's what she did. That's what these posters about. Saying that.
Good. I'm glad she said that you robbed it because actually what you did was you took it and you wouldn't return it to her, so you stole it from her.
No, I did not.
Oh, yes, you did.
That's not what I did.
Yes, you did.
After somebody threatened you. After somebody threatened you. Yes, I pawned it. She threatened my life. Yes, I did. I was upset. I was pawned, just like she was upset when she made all those posts and threatening my family and my wife and my kids. Now, I admitted that I owed her the medallion.
There's something big time wrong with you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today.
You lived there. You ate the steak. If you didn't like it, move. If you were unhappy there, move. You're a big girl. If I didn't like where I was living, I would move.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
LaShawn Perkins says former friend Raymond Robinson owes for a diamond-encrusted medallion he stole from her.
Now, you took the medallion from her with the understanding that you were going to have it fixed. Then either you sold it, pawned it, gave it away, did something else over a period of time. She got frustrated with you because you were blowing her off and not telling her when you were going to get it back.
That's not true.
Well, then she started threatening you because she wasn't getting the medallion back.
No,
then
she
what
started
you
threatening because she wanted to
close your mouth and listen. Then what you did, instead of taking responsibility, you say, I found it, but because she was threatening me, I decided to sell it, which you did.
No.
That's what you just said to me. I decided to pawn it because she was threatening me.
No,
that's what you just said. You want me to play back the tape?
It's a gap in that story. If you just give me a second to explain, with all due respect. I was working, like I said. She was calling me at my job. I was going to make payments towards her. Once I lost it and she started threatening me, I'm not going to pay her.
I don't care what you're saying, sir.
That's cool.
You were going to make payments for what?
Because I lost the medallion. When I found it, I pawned it because she started threatening me. Once I got threats and posts on Facebook, I'm not doing that.
Judgment for the plaintiff, the amount of $2,500. You're an idiot.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She said so many lies and so many stuff that didn't get a chance to be explained.
I am so happy this is finally done and over with.
But it's all good. Love stands over everything.
You answered it for me, baby. I got it.
Are suing their customers, Aaron and Sandra Lang, for property damage and loss of income.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, everyone.
Case 2152, Robinson versus Lane.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How long have you been in the business of renting party equipment?
We've been in the business about 2.5 years.
And when you started the business by purchasing how many pieces of equipment?
We purchased 3 used units.
3 used?
Yes, obstacle courses. And we rented them out. And then we saved the money and then progressed renting them out and getting more.
Now, the jumper that you rented to the defendants.
Yes, ma'am.
Was one that you bought used or one that you bought new?
I bought it new.
When?
I bought it on 7/19/21. I have the receipt for it.
I'd like to see it, please. Okay, and what you rented from them was a 38-foot obstacle course.
We didn't rent from them.
Who did?
Some friends of ours did. They used our property for their daughter's Sweet 16. They paid the Robinsons. They signed the rental agreement. We did not.
Is that correct?
Sandra is actually the one that handed me the cash.
Did somebody sign a rental agreement?
Yes.
Who was it?
It's a lady. Her name is...
Okay, so let me understand that this is Let me frame it. You rented this piece of equipment, which is a 38-foot obstacle course, to someone whose name is, and according to your complaint, it was returned damaged.
Yes.
You say it can't be repaired, although you tried to patch it.
Right.
And you want the cost of a new obstacle course. And while you paid $4,500, you want $9,000.
Well, I have a list of loss of rentals because people...
You're not entitled to that. Okay. More important, I want to know how you think if these people were not signatories to your rental. May I see that, please, by the way, while she's telling me the story?
This, when we went there to drop it off, we did all the, I dealt completely with Sandra. They run a business in their property, which is for parties. She said they do cigar club parties, they do Sweet 16 parties on their property.
Okay, got it. You do this as a business?
So, yes, we run.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
You use your home property. Is it your home property that you use?
Yes.
So you have a large enough piece of property that other people who want to make parties for their children do them at your house.
Yes.
So you took physical custody of this.
No.
Who did?
The renters, the people.
No. It's physical custody, not legal custody. We're not talking about legal custody. You took physical custody and put it on your property.
The people that signed the original rental agreement were on the property at the time that they dropped it off.
I don't care. It was on your property.
Yes, it was on our property.
So that's a yes.
Yes.
So it was on your property, but used by somebody else, and they were just using your property.
Yes.
Is that correct?
I had it rented out on Sunday. So when I dropped it off, I told Sandra that we would have to come at 6:30 in the morning to pick it up, to clean it and deliver it the next day. She agreed to that because normally we don't leave it overnight if it's going out the next day because we need to sterilize it. When we got there at 7 in the morning, we came in and we were getting ready to pick up the 38-foot obstacle. I noticed that the dogs had chewed, and there are two dogs, a boxer and another dog, were still running around and lifting their leg and urinating on the bouncer. We told her, your dog ate our obstacle. There's pieces of the vinyl, which I have pictures of it, where your dog just ate
You
it.
have pictures of our dog chewing it?
Just a second. I don't want to hear you again. I tried to ignore you. Don't shout out here. Go ahead.
My husband said, excuse me, miss, we have a problem. Your dogs have eaten our obstacle. So then she went in to go and get her husband. Her husband came out. He signed paper saying he was responsible for loss of rentals and the damages or replacement of it.
May I see it, please?
Yes. And also he sent text messages to our phone that same morning apologizing and saying he would do everything to replace it, plus a loss of rentals that we were going to lose.
I'd like to see those texts, and I would like to see his signature on a piece of paper assuming responsibility.
And then...
Just a second.
And here's the text messages.
Oh, would you show this to Mr. Lang, please? Yes. Did you sign that, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
I signed it under distress.
Under distress?
Under distress.
There's no such thing. You mean duress?
Duress. She was...
Just a second. There's a difference between distress...
Duress.
Okay. At 7:29 a.m., you said, I, Aaron Lang, recognize and acknowledge that a jumper obstacle course has been damaged from a dog. I will take care of the repairs and work with the rental company and its owners to get this resolved ASAP. And then about 15 minutes later, you wrote, I'm so sorry again. Let me know when you drop it off, please. Okay, so you tried to drop it off the next day.
I was trying to drop it off the next day to Albert, a repair guy.
Just a second, just answer my question. It doesn't require a long answer. The next day, you were trying to get it resolved, and you're back and forth with him, let me know, et cetera, and then you don't hear from him.
No.
Then it stopped. Tried calling you, I tried messaging you to get this resolved.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Mr. Lang, there's no question. You acknowledged the damage and you agreed to pay for it. That's what you have. Can I have that back? You acknowledged in here that you would take full responsibility for this. What's your defense?
My defense is when they arrived on the property to pick up.
When they arrived.
So when they arrived and they announced to us that there was damage to their obstacle course.
Well, they came to you first.
Correct.
Is that, don't speak. They came to you first.
Yes.
You came outside.
Yes.
Okay. And when you came outside, you had a conversation with whom?
I believe Miss Robinson.
With Mrs. Robinson?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you say to her and what did she say to you?
She just went hysterically, like upset that the jumper was damaged, and that's when I went inside and
Just a
got my
second.
husband.
What did she say?
She just started crying, and she
started to cry.
Yeah, and she's like, your dog's damaged my obstacle course.
Just a second. So she was crying.
Yes.
And did you have any issue when she said to you, your dog's damaged my obstacle course? Did you see what was bitten off from the obstacle course? That's either a yes or a no. The answer is yes. Okay. What kind of dogs do you have?
A German Shepherd and a Boxer.
And where had you stored this unit overnight?
It was left outside.
In the backyard, in the front yard?
We live on a huge ranch, so it's a 2.5 acre parcel. And it's been known that our neighbor dogs always hop.
I don't want to hear neighbor dogs. I don't want to hear coyotes. I don't want to hear bears.
My witness, he
Just
is
a
the repair
second.
guide.
Stand up, sir. I don't need an explanation of this. I'm not going into the repair jumper business. Thankfully, I have a job, and I'm too old to learn anything new.
And later today.
You have the phone.
I do. To this day, I am still paying for the data for that phone.
That's a lie.
Just a second.
I literally
just a
Tabitha and Brandon Robinson claim their customers, Aaron and Sandra Lang, refused to pay the costs of repairs after damaging their jumper house.
Okay, now I'm going to get back to you. So now your wife comes in to get you, and you went outside. Was there?
Just my wife and I.
So just the two of you?
Just the two of us were home.
And they were there?
And they were there.
Both of
their
them?
equipment. Yes.
Okay.
And their daughter.
Okay, and?
I go outside. Miss Robinson is completely hysterical, crying, just out of control in hysterics.
Okay.
Her husband's yelling, screaming,
No,
profanity.
tell me. Oh, I want you to tell me exactly. No. I want you to tell me exactly. She's crying, and he starts yelling.
Yes.
Well, you came out and said what to them when you came out? And then I want to hear exactly what was said.
I asked to see the damage, for them to show me what was going on, what had happened. They showed me the damage. We both took pictures. Again,
no, you both
took
pictures. Just a second. So he composed himself long enough to take pictures.
Yes.
And you were composed enough to take pictures.
Yes, I was.
Which you have.
Yes.
And then what happened?
Throughout their screaming.
No, I want you to tell me. Now you're
I'm
taking
telling you.
pictures. You're taking pictures, and
Brandon is on the phone with their repair guy of some sort.
Okay, so he's on the phone. He's composed enough to be on the phone. Now, before he got on the phone with his repair guy, did you discuss with him your responsibility to take care of the damage? That's either yes or a no.
Yes.
Yes. So once you said, I'll take care of the damage, he got on the phone with his repair guy.
Before I agreed to take care of the damages, before we discussed that, he was already on the phone. With the repair guy.
Okay, and then he got off the phone, but you signed this the same day. So I want to know when in this conversation you signed it. You need something to lean on. Somebody has to give you a piece of paper. Somebody has to get a pen.
I did not fill out that piece of paper.
You don't have to.
Tabitha is the one that filled out the piece of paper in their vehicle.
Who did?
Miss Robinson is the one that filled it out in her vehicle.
Okay,
and then
so
handed it
just
to
a
me to
second.
sign.
So she got in her vehicle.
Crying in hysterics.
I don't care. She got in her vehicle, and where was her husband?
Outside loading the bouncer.
So he was outside.
Yes.
She went inside her vehicle, and he was busy.
Yes.
And you live in a house.
Yes.
You felt as if you were being extorted.
Bullied, yes.
Did you go inside to call the police?
No, I did not. I should have.
Yeah, but you didn't.
I did not.
You went over to the truck where she was hysterical. She wrote out this document, right?
Yes.
And you signed it.
Yes, I did.
There we go. Make my life very easy. Did your repair guy try to fix the bouncer?
I do have a receipt where we did have it, tried to get it temporary patch where we paid $600 just to make sure we could still rent it out. So that was paid for. This is my repairman. He is my witness. And then also I do have a paper with an estimate of what it would be to repair The obstacle?
May I see it, please? After he did this job, which he did on October 4th, from the 3rd to the 4th, did you rent it out?
No, we tried to, but I have pictures that I brought of what happens when the air flows through. The patches won't stay. You have to go up inside the bouncer and actually put a patch on the inside and the outside, and it would cost more money. My witness
Just a second.
Repair guy that can
what
tell you.
you're telling me is that your witness prepared this estimate of what it would cost to repair the jumper.
Yes.
Stand up, sir. I don't need an explanation of this. I'm not going into the repair jumper business. Thankfully, I have a job, and I'm too old to learn anything new. Did you prepare this estimate to fix the jumper?
Yes, ma'am. That is the full estimate to repair it properly.
To do it properly?
Location. Yes.
Okay.
The first one was a temporary repair.
Listen, I got it. I'm a fast learner, and anybody who watches this program better learn to think fast too, because I have a lot of things to do today. So you prepare this. So for $2,500, in addition to the $600, did they pay you the $600?
Yes.
So in addition to the $600, so in total, $3,100 would fix the jumper.
Correct.
You agreed to do the repairs on the jumper. Now, you want a new jumper. You're not going to get a new jumper. You're not going to get damages for lost income.